Guess what, friends? Today, the 2nd of June 2021, marks the 2nd anniversary of my channel. So I thought I'd celebrate this minor milestone with something a little different. I thought it might be fun to look at some of the videos I never made. That is to say, the videos that were planned, perhaps scripted, perhaps even partially filmed, but then, for whatever reason, abandoned. Now, I'm not saying that's it, these videos will never be made, just that, as they stand, they're incomplete. I'm hoping that with lockdown ending, we pray, at least some of them will be doable in the not-too-distant future. So, let us begin. This was going to be a history of the clock tower attached to the Houses of Parliament, officially called the Elizabeth Tower, but unofficially called Big Ben. A lot of people will tell you that Big Ben is actually the name of the bell, but they are in fact wrong. The bell is officially known simply as the Great Bell. I started filming it when it looked like we were going to go into the first lockdown, and I was trying desperately to get as much footage as possible. Unfortunately, the problem, as you can see from this footage, is that the clock was, and is, still undergoing major repairs. So, a video about a clock tower where you can't actually see the clock tower doesn't make for a very satisfying video. If the video does happen, it'll happen once repairs are completed. The Woolwich ferry is a very historically significant form of transport, and I took some footage for it for a video about it not long before the first lockdown. Unfortunately, I needed to do some research on it, and by the time I'd done that research, we were already in the lockdown. I didn't have enough footage to make the video, so the whole thing got put on the back burner. This is definitely one I'd like to return to, possibly in combination with a video on the North Woolwich railway line. The two are historically connected. Cleary Garden is one you might not have heard of. It's a delightful bit of greenery near Mansion House in the City of London. I've often had a wander around, so I thought it might make for a good video. But, to be honest, on sitting down to write the script, I didn't think there was a great video to be made on the garden itself. I didn't really have much to say, even after research. If the video does happen, it'll likely focus more on Fred Cleary himself, the man the garden is named after. Very interesting guy who did a lot for London and whose philosophy was kind of very much in line with my philosophy about what makes a pleasant city. Now we're wandering into dangerous territory. Now, this video actually did get made and was well into the editing stage when I dropped it from the lineup. It was going to discuss the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests and the then very controversial question of removal of statues. I didn't publish it for a number of reasons. The most obvious being that at the time the story was still ongoing. I didn't really want to make a video that would become outdated within a couple of months. I mean, even now, nearly a year later, I don't think the story is over. I really think this is something where we have to put some distance from events. I also figured that whatever conclusions I drew on the subject, I'd wind up upsetting people on both sides, and no doubt I'd simultaneously be accused of being a Nazi and being woke, whatever that's supposed to mean. Man, I don't need that kind of hassle. Now, you must have heard of Carnaby Street. It's a street in Soho in London's West End that became hugely famous for being at the heart of swinging London. It was I was going to say the fashion capital of London, but it sounds a bit weird to talk about a capital inside the capital. Well, I'll do it anyway. It was the fashion capital of London, and to some extent it still is. But it's kind of a tourist trap these days. So there are two reasons this didn't get made. One was, yet again, lockdown. Even when lockdown started to lift, it was impossible to get the shots of the street looking crowded that I wanted. The other was that I appeared on the Soho Bites podcast, in which we wound up covering much the same ground as I was going to cover in the video. That being said, I did have an idea for a video coming at the subject of Carnaby Street from a different angle, so that may also yet be made. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short peek behind the curtain at some of the videos that never were. This is just a small selection. If I made all the videos I've rejected, I'd probably have enough videos to keep me going until the 3rd anniversary. But, like the late Sean Connery, I never say never. They may yet appear in some form or another. Well, many thanks for watching this and all my videos. It's you guys that got me to this point, and let's hope there are many more years to come. I'm off to celebrate, and I'll see you all again very soon. Cheerio.